Here is everything we know about Town Hall 18. This video is based on the facts, so we'll be discussing things that have been confirmed by developers or official leaks, but I'll also be speculating on some other details like the theme, some theories on some hints we've been given and new content, as well as building a timeline, predicting the date on when it's coming out. So let's do that first. We know from previous Town Halls that a Hammer Jam is definitely happening before the Town Hall's release. More on the details of that later, but we already know it's happening for sure, as in a recent social media post they shared this. It's just a random base, but if you look at the bottom, there is the icon for the Hammer Jam. Historically, Hammer Jams have lasted about 2 weeks, right? So sometime in November, we should expect a 2-week Hammer Jam. And I say November because the team has been teasing this date, November something 2025. But as it turns out, the new cosmic scenery may have been telling us all along. There is a clock that points to the time 11/2, November 2nd. Shout out to Terminator for discovering this. Why is this significant? Well, the World Champion ends on November 2nd, and coincidentally, 2 weeks from November 2nd is when the crafted defenses expire, November 16, which also happens to be the same date on that screenshot we saw earlier in the top left. But most importantly, November 16 is a Sunday. Why on earth does Sunday matter? Well, if we look back at the release of every Town Hall since 12, sneak peeks for it always end on a Sunday. And you recall that date that they've been teasing in videos, November something 2025? Well, if you look closely, that mystery number starts with a 1. This leads me to believe that the update will drop on November 17, that Monday. Updates never drop on a Sunday. Since Town Hall 12, it has always been Mondays, with the exception of Town Hall 16, which was delayed by 1 day, so it ended up being on a Tuesday. Alright, so now let's finally build our timeline using all this information. Hammer Jam will likely start on November 2nd, the same day the World Finals end. November 16, sneak peeks and crafted defenses end. With that in mind, we can also predict that sneak peeks start around 3 to 5 days before, so I'd say November 12. And November 17, Hammer Jam ends that morning, and the update drops just like last year. Sometime during this timeline as well, there may be additional teasers like the theme, or maybe some teasers for new troops, defenses, or merges. Speaking of new content though, one thing that will not be coming is a new hero. It's been a pretty popular speculation that Town Hall 18 will have a new hero, and maybe every Town Hall from now on, because we have the Hero Hall and the sky's the limit, but no. Back in February, I believe during an AMA or an interview, developers confirmed that no new hero was coming before Town Hall 19, and they were pretty certain about it, so I wouldn't expect a new hero this time around. But of course, it's possible, just not likely. Another thing we know for sure is which defenses are getting new levels. You may have seen this floating around already, or noticed yourself that there are several defenses with supercharges that say they will be depleting soon. This includes the multi-archer tower, ricochet cannon, multi-gear tower, bomb towers, air defenses, wizard towers, and all resource collectors. These are all the buildings expected to get new levels based on this information. But not only that, it literally tells you in the game it has a new level coming soon. It's not a secret. Some have also speculated that this is the Town Hall where spell towers will finally get a new level, and though that is certainly possible, I personally don't believe that this is the case yet, because back in July of this year, they were still very undecided on if spell towers would ever get a new level or if they were just going to buff the spells, so it's not looking like it's happening anytime soon. As for supercharges, assuming it all plays out exactly like last year, you can expect the new supercharges to launch with the new levels. Though I do remember last year there was a bit of backlash of them doing that, so maybe this time they'll wait, who knows. But for now, it seems they will be available on day 1. But something that's a bit more mysterious is this new gameplay mechanic that is coming for Town Hall 18. Back in July, community manager stated that Town Hall 18 will have a new gameplay mechanic, and this one is specific for the new Town Hall, he said. So this is not like a game-wide change like Equipment was, which was the last time we heard a new mechanic was coming. No, this is for Town Hall 18 exclusively. Obviously, they will be keeping this as a big secret because it's probably the highlight of the update, but whatever it is, it may or may not have an impact on the difficulty of Town Hall 18 because the developers have previously stated that they are aware Town Hall 17 at launch was weak, and they are, quote, looking into it. But speaking of a new gameplay mechanic, when Town Hall 16 released, merges were that new thing, and we can definitely expect merging to continue expanding. First, the obvious, the last two Archer Towers will likely be merged this time around. Town Hall 17 does not have any regular cannons anymore, and Town Hall 18 will likely do away with those regular Archer Towers as well. As for other new merges, there are some pretty popular theories, and this is because the developers have already confirmed long ago that yes, new town halls will keep seeing merges of all sorts so that they can keep introducing new defenses without needing to expand the size of the village. Some pretty popular fan theories are mortars, wizard towers, Teslas, and even bomb towers, any defense we have multiple of. There is nothing solid yet, but during a season trailer back in May of this year, some comments found it very interesting that there were 3 wizard towers and 3 mortars missing from the base. The obvious answer here is that, duh, they're destroyed, that's why they're missing. But this wouldn't be the first time Supercell has teased something like this, so it's certainly not a crazy theory that they may have been hinting at these 2 defenses as the next merges. But let's move on to crafted defenses. We don't know much, so I'll keep it short. But yes, the current selection of crafted defenses will expire soon, specifically on November 16. You will keep the crafting station, it will just be that box with the tarp over it as it was when you first built it. And then when the new town hall finally drops, estimated to be about a day or 2 later, you will lose that station. The next crafting season is also estimated to be shorter than the current one, as when they originally launched it, it was said that these seasons would last 3 months, but the current one just kept getting extended. But this may not be that big of a deal because there may be a reward for maxing those defenses. Developers confirmed back in late June that they are working on a permanent reward for temporary content such as these, and that more details will be shared at a later date. It's unknown what these rewards will be, but the team has talked about wanting to dive more into cosmetics like emotes, sprays, icons, badges, and even builder skins, which Seth said was his favorite concept so far. But we don't know if any of that is even being worked on at the moment, so we'll just have to wait. Next, I wanted to touch on the topic of new troops, spells, or pets. As you may know, every town hall has a signature troop that never fails to come out with the update. We can expect Town Hall 18 to have a troop come out with it, maybe even more than one, as the Clash team has been pushing this Super Electro Dragon very hard. They've talked about it several times in interviews and AMAs. It was also on a box in the Barbarian video. They made a post about it. Sort of. I don't know if that was a joke or not. And then in a recent social media post, you can see the name on this account they had was E-Drag Forever, with E-Drags trained in the camps. There's gotta be something up. I think it's very possible we see a Super Electro Dragon in the next update, but I don't believe that that is the signature Town Hall 18 troop. The super troops are more of a thing that they just throw in a random update. So we'll just have to wait and see what the new troop is. As for spells and pets, it doesn't always come out with the Town Hall. Town Hall 17 did have both the troop and spell release with it, but the pet came out in a later update. The same goes for Town Hall 16. It did have a new troop and a pet, but the spell came out later. So whatever we don't get in the Town Hall 18 update will probably be introduced in the first update of 2026. But the last specific Town Hall 18 thing I wanted to talk about was the theme. By this time last year, we already had a good idea of what the colors for Town Hall 17 were due to the barracks design being shared pretty early on, but this year it's a little different, so pretty much all of it is going to be speculation. Alright, where do I start? I will share what I think and then explain why I think that. I believe the theme has something to do with at least one of these 3 things: space, crystals, and post-apocalyptic. Here's how I came to that conclusion. The first obvious hint and confirmation of the theme of Town Hall 18 has got to be the skins that were leaked a while ago by Supercell themselves. It was during the 9-hour Revenge Room live stream that they hosted, and I believe it was around 6 hours and 40 minutes in where they showed a picture of the November skin set. And as you know, last year we had the Justice skin set, which was the theme of Town Hall 17. So these skins have got to mean something, right? It's not confirmed that this is the November skin set, but honestly, when you think about it, it wouldn't make any sense for it not to be. December is usually Christmas themed, and it would be kind of silly to be teasing the skins for January all the way in October, right? So this has to be that. Now, they are a bit hard to see, but after reading tons of comments and posts about it, people believe they see a robot or nomad theme, which is where I got the post-apocalyptic part. And this isn't the first reference to this sort of theme. In the Cosmic Curse season, the wizard changes himself into this style, and all of this gives off some war vibes, like something is about to go down. And this isn't that far-fetched. The season is called Cosmic Curse Awakens. And the word awakens implies that this is the start of something, not the end. So just like the August and September seasons, which were connected, maybe the next one will be a part 2 to the Cosmic Curse Awakens, where the village is completely taken over by it, and based on the skin set, there is an all-out war against this curse or something. But then there is the possible crystal and space theme. So in a video back in September called Trophies Are Gone, for a brief second, we can see what looks like a decoration or a new building in the top left of the village where the clan games usually are. It's a little fuzzy. Here's another picture that was posted very recently. Most people can agree that this looks like some kind of observatory, leading some to speculate that maybe the next update has something to do with space. Some even said a fourth village, but come on now. And it's interesting because in the current season, this curse that is overtaking the village comes from space, specifically where the Cosmic Series takes place, which is right above the village. We can see that in a commercial. But also, community managers posted this picture recently, which may be them filming the Hammer Jam video. And if you look where they are, it's space. As it turns out, my theories may not be that crazy. Well, I mean, maybe, we'll just have to see. I might be crazy in 1 week. Anyway, speaking of the scenery, the reason I bring it up is because last year, the Doom scenery had some clues for Town Hall 17, like a statue of the Dominion Prince, and some design features you could say ended up on Town Hall 17. And as we discussed, the current scenery is hinting toward Hammer Jam already, and maybe there's something else here about Town Hall 18 that we aren't aware of yet. Well, I wouldn't be the first to notice that there is something in this scenery that has consistently appeared throughout videos and in-game events for the past 2 months. These blue crystals / meteors. It all started in the trailer for the Mashurama season. They go into this mine that has all these random blue crystals. In the video titled Call Me Barbary, there are those blue crystals again, with an old poster of Town Hall 10 coming soon. Coincidence? But it keeps going. In the teaser for the October season, the goblins end up in a cave with the blue crystals, right outside of all the Cosmic Curse shenanigans. Speaking of, the entire season has had blue shards and blue meteors, blue everything, everywhere. The meteor golems, which are also walking around in the cosmic scenery, as well as a statue holding a blue meteor, the meteor staff, the blue shards you need to collect for the event, the literal blue meteor shooting down into a mysterious location, which also happens to be the same meteor on the Super Electro Dragon concept. And why was that hinted on the box next to these blue shards? I mean, I feel like I'm going crazy. There is something up with these blue shards, and the fact that they are raining down from space and this mysterious observatory that they keep teasing, it really makes you wonder, is it space? Is it the shards? What is it? So that's where the crystals and space theme speculations come from. So anyway, I got this idea that perhaps the theme is rugged stone with something to do with these blue shards or meteors. I'll be showing you where I got all the color inspiration from as well. I do want to give a shout out to Hats on Dogs, who created the original Town Hall design that I'm using, and I just made some modifications based on what I found. You know, taking into account that observatory, the blue shards, but mostly those skins. So overall, this is my best guess theme-wise. We don't have any information on a Town Hall weapon yet, so I didn't focus much on that. Whatever it looks like, I really hope that the walls are fire. Alright, but that's enough theme speculations. I wanted to go over some other details, like a possible event coming soon. That same screenshot that we looked at a couple times, if we zoom in next to the observatory and whatnot, there is an arcade cabinet. Last time we saw something like this was in 2022 during the 10th class anniversary event, where it had some mini games that we could play. Sadly, it's very hard to make out any logos or images on the cabinet. It's way too blurry. But if we compare it side by side to the 2022 one, it does look different. I have no clue what it could be, but because they were minigames before, I think it's fair to assume we are getting more minigames of some kind. I'm just not sure how this all relates to Town Hall 18 in the next update. Speaking of events, the one that everyone is most excited about is Hammer Jam, and so I wanted to go over what we know about it and, you know, the discounts. If it's anything like last year, we can expect all upgrade costs and timers to be 50% off for the entirety of the 2 weeks. And who knows, it may be longer than 2 weeks, because last year, if I recall correctly, it was 2 weeks and 2 days. Also, last year, all collectors were working 3 times faster with 3 times the capacity. I wouldn't be surprised if this makes a return. Everyone seemed to love this, and I think they'll be trying to give us the best possible Hammer Jam again. There are also speculations that maybe this will also reduce the cost of equipment upgrades. I'm leaning more toward no, that's not happening, but who knows? Maybe they'll outdo themselves again. As for cost reductions, we can expect to see another round of those this year. Every Town Hall will get slightly faster and cheaper. More specifically, you can expect Town Hall 18 to take just as long as Town Hall 17 did to max out, and Town Hall 17 to take just as long as Town Hall 16 did, and so on. At least that seems like the general direction they're going. But yeah, guys, that is it. That's everything we know about Town Hall 18, plus a whole lot of interesting speculations and theories. Let me know your thoughts down below. Assuming I was somewhat correct on the timeline, we should be hearing more news about this very, very soon, and I'm excited to find what's in store for us. Anyway, before you go, YouTube thinks you'll like this next video, so why don't you check it out? As always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!